y'all, it's Hope at Crafty Hope and welcome. I think I'm gonna have to expand this in just a minute, but this is a bit of a Thrifty Thursday haul, but kind of an unusual one. I'll tack on anything else that is thrifty to this that is more of the regular thrifty persuasion. But this comes from, I went over and helped my mom go through some of my grandmother's things. My grandmother passed about a year and a half ago, and my mom has been struggling with what to do with some of her stuff. So I went over to help her make some decisions and wound up bringing some things home. So while I didn't really thrift these things, they were free. So that's the thriftiest you can get. So it was some neat scores. So I thought I'd show you what I inherited. All right, so the first thing, this was actually something I made for my grandmother forever ago, and it's just a little button bouquet. I actually made it for my mother-in-law, and a bunch of people got these button bouquets from me, but I thought maybe I could, I might keep it, but I might also just take the buttons apart and repurpose them into some of my other projects. So there was that. I also got a couple of books. I guess more than a couple. I got 3 books. This is an essay on Milton. The date in here is what was it? Oh, y'all. 1898. So it's, it's just a vintage, I guess, it is an actual antique book. So there's that. I also picked up this Arabian Nights from, I don't even remember my grandmother having this. I forgot these were in here. That was something else. So it is an interesting book. The pictures are really kind of this neat style in them. And the paper is more like newsprint than glossy paper. So here's where I need to zoom out, isn't it? So it's an interesting book. So I took that, and like I said, I don't remember my grandmother having it. I don't know if she got it later, and because I didn't grow up seeing this book in our house. And then this dictionary, I love dictionaries, y'all. Some of my jewelry all goes on like dictionary paper, and it's some of like the theme of how I package a lot of my stuff. So I don't know yet if I'll use this in any of my art, because my mom said this is the one that she grew up using like when she was in high school. So my grandmother's had this a long time. So I'm not sure if it's going to be repurposed. Y'all saw these that came out. These are liquor, I guess, labels. They were in and I think it's in Mr. Boston Bartender's Guide. It probably came with the book when my mom was getting rid of the book, and I was like, well, I'll take those labels because they were just falling out of there. So I thought those were neat. She had these nice napkins that she didn't want. There are stains and stuff like that on them, but my mom didn't want them. And I mean, I won't use them as napkins, but I don't mind maybe tearing them down. And that's why I told my mom, do you mind if I tear them apart and use them in art? And she was like, no, because she was just gonna send them off to the thrift store. So there were those. But the big thing, and y'all, it's got dust. Oh well, no, I've got a couple more things before I get to the big thing. My mom had these little, this one is just a cheap little pen, and it looks like it's been hot glued for some reason, but it's just a cheap little pen that I can upcycle. And then this, y'all see it says Neiman Marcus on it. They this was probably on some packaging of something that my uncle sent to my grandmother. So it's got a little frame stand or a little clip on it. But if I can get the Neiman Marcus thing out of it, it might be neat in some assemblage. So there's that. And then there was just a big thing of poster board, like the quarter-size poster board. I love that stuff. So the big thing was, and I don't think I would have let my mom get rid of it, is my grandmother's postcard collection. Y'all, somehow in my 46 years of life and the last several years, I have forgotten that my grandmother collected postcards. I don't know how I forgot that. Because some of these I bought for her on vacations, like here in the last 10 years. So it's just crazy. But no, I found some of them were just falling out, and I love these. And I may have bought these for her. I'm not sure. These are stamps. But we lived in Panama when I was a kid, and so I'm sure my grandmother got those when she was there. But these have markings on them, so I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff. But it's a lot of postcards. There were some that were stuffed into here, and I went through them. A lot of them are from a friend of my mom's. Some of these are not to my grandmother. They're to my mom, and to like, some of them are to my uncle. Some of them, you know, these weren't all ones sent to my grandmother. There's a whole book of just blank postcards, which I don't know. But the ones that cracked me up, these Panama City Beach ones, I'm sure I bought for my grandmother on my honeymoon. And then these Aruba ones, my husband and I went to Aruba, I don't even remember when, but I know I bought those for her too, because nobody else in my family's been to Aruba. So this one is the oldest one I have found, and it's from 1910. Now there may be more. I haven't looked on the front or back of all of them. But y'all, this album is massive, and it is almost full. There's some pages in the back that aren't full, but there are ones that I sent to my grandmother when I was in high school, I guess. There are these neat wooden ones. She saved all kinds of craziness. Now this one, again, I don't think is to her. No, that's my grandfather. But there's all kinds of, like, one of my vacations in Rock City is in here. There's these, my grandfather, my grandmother's husband was a merchant marine. And so there's a lot of cards that he sent. Like, I'm sure these from Istanbul are from him. These from Panama City, Panama, looks like these are either ones we bought or she got when she visited us in Panama. But it's amazing. Some of these, her brothers and sisters' husbands, all were in the military, and so they all traveled, and so there's postcards from them. It's kind of, I told my husband, it's like a family history in postcards. So I'm going to sit down at some point and look through all of them. But then she saved weird things, like these mailing things from Vanity Fair. Now, I thought maybe it was for the stamps, but she didn't take the stamps out. This is actually, I think, yeah, this was, my uncle got her a Vanity Fair subscription, and that was the card to let her know. So I don't know why she saved some of these things, but she's got ones from like her doctor's office in here, which crack me up. Like, here's one from Super Lube. Y'all, she saved them all. So I think it's really neat. So I'm going to go through these, but that was my big score. So I don't think I'm going to start collecting postcards. Like, I'm not going to pick them up at thrift stores and antique malls and all that, but I might start getting them when I travel, because like I said, or even telling people when they travel to send me a postcard, because it's really kind of a great scrapbooking kind of thing without having to do a whole lot of work. So I just thought that was kind of neat. So that's it for my Thrifty Thursday haul. If I have more, like I said, I'll tack it in at the end. Ugh. If that's it, then let me know what you think. Do you have family heirlooms like this? And because I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. But anyway, if you like this, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and come back later and see what I'm making and doing. Thank you, y'all. Bye.